Hi, it's me, coming at you live. Definitely not a, definitely, I'm gonna start over. Hi, it's me. Today is June 14th, and we have a new target extraction, and the final part of Chapter 4 has been released. Yeah, so I'm just gonna get into it because I don't know how to lead into this. It's another ego banner, and there's also an Otis target extraction for people who want it. I'm level 49 on the battle pass. I haven't claimed any of this because I wanted to at least show that there's another new ticket thing here for your customization, and that's cool. I like that there's. I've been delightfully surprised that there are in fact 3 of them, only one of which being paid. So let me just receive all of this. Yep, that's a lot of stuff. I feel like they might be giving out maybe a little too many crates and not enough XP tickets. That's just my personal opinion, though. We've got 2... Oh, thank God it's a Heat Ego. I didn't actually check that beforehand, but I'm so glad... It's paid. That's interesting. Okay. Yeah, we have AEDD for Gregor and Sun Shower for Yi Sang. Now, if my theory is correct, this is going to be an ego exclusively for Rose Spanner Gregor. Because that's kind of how this works, right? If we just look at it. Yeah, it's Gloom Envy, just like the other one. Okay. First off, he's dripping. That's not that important. It's a Gloom Ego, 22 to 27. It's kind of a middling... I mean, it's not a middling roll because it's E, and it's pretty consistent. 20 sanity cost, that's normal. 3 Gloom, 3 Envy. It's a little bit more expensive than the other AEDD, but it's also Key instead of Teth. So, before attack, gain +7 charge count. On hit, inflict 10 Spark Discharge. Spark Discharge is when hit, the attacker gains +1 charge count. When hit with a Gloom attack, gain +1 rupture count, then reduce count by 1. Okay. That's very specific. Alright. So ideally you'll want to use a team that has a lot of Gloom. Then. This is full Warp Dawn synergy type stuff. And while I like that, I was really hoping that this would be better for Greg. Because the thing is, his 3rd skill is Gloom, so he doesn't actually generate Gloom well. But I guess at least it does generate both. So I can't complain too much. It's interesting. It's like gain charge support. And not much else. I'm assuming it'll do decent damage. Spark Discharge, huh? It's an interesting status effect, too. The Corrosion is just stronger. It's not a minus. So the normal is 22 to 27. The Corrosion is 24 to 31. Prioritizes units with charge. Before attack, gain +7 charge count. Inflicts 10 Spark Discharge and +5 charge count. This is weird. In what universe is inflicting the enemy with charge helpful? I don't think there are any enemies that use charge, actually, now that I think about it. So that's curious. I mean, there might be some in the chapter that we haven't played yet, I suppose. I don't know, it's interesting. It seems underwhelming, but it's not useless, I'd say. It's meant to be used with the Rose Spanner crew, because they all have Gloom, and 2 of them have Envy. Alright, passive. On hit with a Heads coin, spend 2 charge count to give +1 charge count to the charge-possessing ally with the lowest charge count. Pardon? I'm struggling to come up with a situation where this is useful other than using Faust. And so I'm going to assume that the passive is not that useful. In fact, this seems detrimental to Rospan or Greg. You would want this for, like, a Greg that isn't reliant on their charge. If anything. And there's no other Greg that has Gloom. I don't know, this is weird. I don't know how I feel about this. It's usable, but it's very strange. Okay, well, there's that. I'm sure there'll be a strategy that incorporates that. And then, of course, the one that we've all been waiting for. Yi Sang's Sun Shower. Holy crap. That's a 10 cost ego. Okay, before I say anything about it, it's a 5 target AoE. Why is this not a VoV ego? Because that is super expensive. Like, that is the most expensive ego we have right now. There is another one that costs 10. Ebony Stem costs 10. It does not cost 35 sanity, though. 4 Sloth, 2 Gluttony, 2 Gloom, 2 Pride. 17 to 27. 5 slots. Before attack, give 1 Sloth power up, 2 Sloth damage up, and 3 protection to all allies this turn and next turn. Okay, I understand why it's expensive now. Wow. And if you hit it, it heals 15 SP. So okay, if you land heads and hit, it regains 15 SP. So provided you actually flip heads on a 60% chance, that is only 20 sanity cost. How would you even build around this? I know that the new identity supports this, but aside from the new identity, what are you putting in this party? You want to know what else supports this? 7 Yi Sang, which is interesting. You don't get any pride, but you arguably don't need it. Because you're going to have other team members. Okay, this seems very powerful. Because this is literally just a 2-turn buff for your entire team. And it hits 5 slots. This should be your first VoV ego. I feel kind of weird that this is he instead of VoV with how much this does. The Pierce attribute really doesn't matter. You're not using this for damage, though it does deal damage. You're using this for the buffs. Yeah, that seems pretty good. What's the corrosion do? That's a 30 to 20. With very high growth. Targets 5 slots, targets randomly, gain 2 sloth power up and 2 sloth damage up this turn and the next 2 turns. That's only for himself, though. On hit, inflict 2 sloth fragility and 2 pierce fragility this turn and next turn on hit. So actually, the corrosion isn't bad. Because it inflicts this to everybody for 2 turns. This is like wishing Karen on crack. Okay. That's very interesting. It gives you an ineffective to gluttony, too. This is gonna be very powerful if you can build a team around it. This is like the first ego that you have to build your entire team around using it. I mean, maybe Ebony Stem, but that one's not as good when you build around it. Okay. At the start of the turn, all allies heal 3 SP. Okay, that's insanely powerful. Okay. Okay, very cool. Thank you, Project Moon, for giving us... I'm not going to call it overpowered, because they did make the costs very high to use it. This seems incredibly powerful. You just run a full Sloth Gluttony team, and you go from there. Alright, now for the reason we're actually here. We've got 2 new ego identities. Effloresced ego Spice Bush Yi Sang and Lobotomy ego Sloshing Ishmael. I still hate that name. Alright, let's check him out. This is a tank ID. That's a very variant speed stat. What the heck? Okay. It is a lot of HP. Like, this is like 180 something on on level 30, which is what we're going to be running it at. That's very high tank stats. So the issue with this game is I responded to a comment about it that was left on the Sunshower Heath video. They pointed out all of the identities that people see as bad in this game are the IDs that are meant to be tanks. That isn't necessarily true 100% of the time. It is 100% true for me, specifically, because the game rewards you for going fast in almost every situation. Like, the EX clears our finish fights under a certain amount of turns. The railway wants you to complete matches as quickly as possible. And you get rewards from mirror dungeons more often if you can get through them as fast as you can. So, like, if they can find out a way to make a clear reward for a thing not revolve around speed, then IDs like this will become a lot more usable instantly. That being said, I have a feeling that this ego is not going to be very good before I even look at the skills. Speaking of, it's heavy. 1 coin, 4+6, so 4 to 10. Very low offense power. Heads hit, inflict 1 tremor. On hit, inflict 1 tremor count. Okay, it's tremor. Not much interesting. It's churning. I hate that. 5+4, so 5 to 13. That's pretty standard for a skill, too. It's Wrath, though. On hit, inflict 1 tremor. On hit, inflict 2 tremor. Okay, it's tremor. Very cool. Skill 3. 6+16 with 1 coin, so 6 to 22, which is not a bad roll. I think that's the same roll as G-Corp Otis's third skill. On hit, burst tremor, reduce tremor count by 4. After bursting tremor, inflict 5 rupture. Oh, I hate that. Okay. So right off the bat, this is a bad tremor identity. And I know I said this about Meursault at first, about Rose Spanner Meursault, and then I ended up using him for the entirety of Chapter 4. But this time it's true, okay? Because not only do you not inflict very much tremor to begin with, your third skill just gets rid of it for 5 rupture. So the problem is that you don't want to get rid of tremor that fast. 5 rupture isn't enough. Like, Rose Spanner Greg is just better than this, right? Because the thing can inflict up to 4 tremor on burst, and it only reduces count by 1. I want everybody to look at LCCB Ishmael before they comment on this being good, please, for the love of God. I know LCCB Ishmael is not in the shop rotation right now because it's a season 1 ID. But wow, is this not good? It's not as bad as Vi Sinclair. I'll say that much. Passives: 3 gloom owned, filling fluid. I hate all of the names of these skills. If this unit fails to deal HP damage using attack skills in the turn, gain a shield equal to 5% of max HP next turn. So 10? No. Yeah, 10. So you get an auto block if you somehow don't deal damage. Okay. And Corrosive Slime, 4 Gloom owned. When one ally with the highest speed bursts tremor, they inflict 2 rupture. This is just infinitely better than what this entire identity does in combat. Honestly. Like, this is the issue. Tremor IDs tend to lean towards the bulky side, but they don't have anything to do. At least she's fast. Like, Vi Sinclair is the slowest unit in the game with 2 to 4. She's at least got 2 to 7. But man, is this not great. I'm still gonna use it at least once. Okay. The reason we're actually here, though. This one's gonna be a long one, by the way. I'm sorry. 146 HP, 3 to 7 speed, 31. That's not bad. That's pretty average overall. Okay. Effloresced Ego Spice Bush. First thing I see, 3 coin first skill with a growth of 0.8. So this is actually going to roll pretty high. Oh yeah, this is the weird one. This one gains tremor count for some ungodly reason. They didn't want to give it charge because charge wouldn't be thematically appropriate, so they instead give you tremor count. Anyways, 3 plus 2 with 3 coins, it's a 3 to 9. That's not the best roll ever. It's very much going to be boosted by the offense level in this case. Coins 2 and 3 on hit, inflict 1 sinking count next turn. Next turn? Pardon me? Next turn is such an odd thing to see. Also, yeah, Gluttony, Sloth, Pride is such a good... It's just an amazing sin lineup. Especially with the new Sun Shower, but I can't show that yet. Okay, this is the skill that made everybody freak out when they first showed it. Moment's Floral Breeze. This is a 4 to 16, so the same as Enfaust's skill 2. Combat start, spend 6 tremor count to turn this into an AoE skill that targets 3 slots. This is our first non-ego AoE. Every single die has on-flicked 2 sinking... On-flicked. On-hit inflict 2 sinking next turn. This is crazy. But it's entirely dependent on if you can get the tremor count. It's still a good single target skill for the record. Like, this is gonna hit hard in that case. Man, alright, skill 3. 6 plus 4... That's a 6 to 18. That's amazing. And it's got the cap growth rate. Okay. So for those who don't know, 0.86 is the highest growth rate in the game. Currently. There are 3 identities that have it on every single skill, and now 2 identities that have it on their 3rd skill specifically. The 3 identities that have it on every skill are R. Heathcliff, Blade Lineage Yi Sang, and G. Corp Greg. And the other one was N. Sinclair's 3rd skill, has it. This is crazy. And now that Pride has a good ego to build towards, in Sunshower, I'm already considering using Sunshower. Like, the thing is, Sunshower does so much stuff that helps this identity that you're just gonna use it. Okay, the thing that kind of panicked me when I first saw this IDs, like, the thing they were showing, is that this has Clash lose 20 SP. And we saw that on the preview, and I was freaking out like, oh god, they're gonna make us lose clashes, and this is gonna be a negative coin ID, and the only way we're gonna lose sanity is by losing a clash with skill 3. Thank god they didn't do that. Gain 6 tremor count. So you can only use this immediately into skill 2 is if you're using it on the same turn. Yeah. Coins 1 and 2, on hit, inflict +1 sinking count. That's current turn. Coin 3, if target has 6 plus sinking, cause sinking deluge, which is deal SP damage by sinking count times sinking potency, then remove sinking. If target's SP is minus 45 or lower, the excess SP damage is dealt as Gloom Affinity HP damage. Units with no sanity take all of it as Gloom HP damage. This is not a status effect. It's just something that happens. You don't inflict this, it's just there. If you can inflict enough sinking... this is gonna do a ton. Also, if user has 10 plus tremor count, deal 30% of damage dealt as bonus damage. Okay. This is probably not gonna happen because you're gonna be spending all your sinking on this. But it's still cool to have it as an option, I guess. Defense, 4 to 14 evade. On evade, inflict 1 sinking. I'm never gonna click this. But cool. Okay, this seems like a powerful identity. If only because it has an AoE. Passives, Force, Full Bloom, Force Sloth owned. When attacking 2 or more targets at once, deal plus 30% damage. The problem here is that you can't use that for Ego, because you're gonna use up all your Sloth resource to do it. Pungent Spring Breeze, 3 Sloth Resonance. 1 ally with the least SP deals 10% more damage when attacking 2 or more targets at once. This is irrelevant. This is kind of crazy. They literally gave us one of the best AoE egos and then said, oh yeah, we're going to give the ID that supports it best a skill that's AoE, and also a passive that increases his AoE damage. Cool. Okay. Pulling this, we're going to do the same thing that we always do. If I drop below 6,000 free lunacy, I'm just going to buy him. With the amount of... I have like 500 yellow crates. So... Okay. You know what? Fair. I suppose.
비웃지 마세요. 저도 좋아서 이딴 걸 입었겠어요?
Oh, I actually didn't get him. Alright. Well, at least I got Ishmael and Faust. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I have a lot of free lunacy. Let's go. Let's go. This is gonna be the week that I have bad luck, chat. Chat? I always do that. Everyone is chat. We're gonna pull a lot of Ishmael today. Just a heads up. Hope you like seeing dripped Ishmael. And by dripping, I mean literally. She is covered in slime. God, all of the stuff not related to the banner is also Ishmael today. Very cool. Okay. Is this the last one? I don't know. Maybe. I haven't actually gotten lucky today yet. Alright, one more. One more and then we're just buying it. There's a gold. There's 2! Ooh, 2 gold. I didn't get it. Awesome. Very, very cool. Thank you. Okay. We're just gonna buy him.
어서 오시게. 내 마음이 마음에 들어.
Hello, sir. He looks very unhappy. I can't imagine why.
결국 이딴 걸로 인정까지 받는군요. 좋아해야 할지 싫어해야 할지.
Honk. Don't laugh. Seriously. A sticky green substance was all over the child's body. No, rather than sticking to her, it should be right to call it draped over her. That is a kind of equipment, suit, outfit, and tool the child put on of her own volition. That's right. In the now fallen L Corp, or Lobotomy Corporation in other words, they used to extract a type of tool from abnormalities. By drawing up the innermost core of the abnormality, they made it possible for anyone to use their powers as tools whenever. In Lobotomy Corporation, they made 2 types of such tools and called them ego weapons and ego suits, respectively. Employees managing abnormalities wore them as needed, used them to handle a variety of dangerous situations, and... Haha, that went on for a bit too long. Seriously, why am I the only one forced to wear this? Can't I put on one of those outfits with the talisman things? Should have picked faster, gal. There were only 3 sets left, so what can we do about it? Reading the documents left here, it says only a limited number of sets could be produced for each. See now, I guess you could say you were destined to put that on, right, sweetheart? Damn it. As there were many kinds of abnormalities, ego could be extracted in various forms. It looks like this branch only managed a few abnormalities before the burial. Perhaps it was a relatively new one that wasn't authorized for very long. They might not have extracted much ego because they didn't manage the abnormalities for long enough. So, do we really have to use these to fight on? The child asked, brushing off the slime on her head. That security staff from K-Corp. Were they called the Excision staff? I admit they're a pain to deal with, but I'm not sure if we need all this. Don't wanna? If that's the case, go ahead and fight without it then. Child still couldn't erase the unpleasantness from her face. But experiencing its power might have changed her mind a bit. Wow, this weapon looks so heavy, but it can be swung so freely, huh? Hey, admiring that kind of stuff right in the middle of beating someone down is a bit off-putting, isn't it? I mean, look at this. Child then swings the green blunt instrument horizontally. She wields it with the proficiency of someone who's used it for a long time. It hits just right. Haha. Let's help ourselves to some wine when we head back. Ugh. The child covers her mouth to stop the sudden outburst of this peculiar manner of speech. Her colleagues laugh at the scene, and the child looks quite humiliated. But they have yet to know this isn't a mere laughing matter. It gives the feeling that they might realize that in the near future... Okay. Really thought that sentence was gonna go somewhere.
자, 보시게. 흐드러지게 피어나지 않았는가? 기껏 모두를 붉게 물들이면 비로소 나 또한 피어날 테요.
So, is this the trespasser? The child's voice was rather dry. With an apathetic expression and voice, he was looking down at the person dragged in front of him. Yes, sir. They might have been trying to loot Enkephalin from the facility. They came down to the underground alone. I see. You may go now. Perhaps that's the child's subordinate. The member who dragged the person with bound arms into the room bowed to the child before walking away. Now, you may begin talking. For what reason did you go to that place? As the fan folded shut, the captured ones started arguing in their defense. Are you their leader? It does happen to be my current position. Look, I'm risking my life trying to earn some cash. It's not like you rented this whole facility to yourselves or anything. Does it hurt to share some of that? The child's expression becomes further unconcerned. He seems almost puzzled by the claim. It appears to me that you have a misunderstanding. I'm not misunderstanding a thing. I saw that fancy lab you've set up here, too. What, I guess there wasn't any Enkephalin left here that you could pocket, huh? That is not an installation method meant for harvesting Enkephalin. What else can it be? The child forcefully unfolded his fan, making his unwillingness to hear more of it clear. The complaining person stopped their argument for a second, overwhelmed by the sound and the pungent scent emitted with it. What? Now that I got a closer look, you seem strange. There are flowers on your head, and these are bloomed things. The nostalgia in my mind for a certain time I would like to summon forth has taken form. Facing the perplexed expression, the child stands up and slowly walks toward them. Stay away! There is no need to fear. You admitted yourself that you're risking your life. The child doesn't seem to have any hostile intent. Rather, he seemed as if his eyes were set on something far, far away. If I may ask, have you seen a proper flower in recent times? I don't think I've seen any in person. Artificial ones were everywhere, though. Indeed, technology has come to a point where it robs us of what originally brought us enjoyment and glee. One day, in our pursuit of convenience and expediency, we've lost what used to matter more than technology. If it weren't for such technologies, you would not be living in the life of a petty Enkephalin thief, is that not right? The captured persons seemed to be flustered by the child's question, rolling their eyes for a bit. No, but still. If it weren't for technology, I wouldn't be alive at all by now, though. My life was saved by some ampule K-Corp made once, even though it cost me an arm and a leg. The child briefly contemplated in silence. Indeed, you raise a fair point. Then he gave his reply with a snicker. What? Although I happen to be assigned the position of a leader, my goal is slightly different from what they chant in unison. When an artificial flower was first made, when fireworks were first invented, the pure delight and joy of witnessing them emerge for the first time in the world. Do you not yearn for that feeling as well? You're not right in your mind, are you? You may be correct in your judgment, yet that path appears quite charming to me, and I felt my mind bloom wider than ever as I conceived that idea. The child's mind was clear and steadfast. It seemed that no one could dare snap it. Okay, he's crazy. That's not a surprise. Okay, there's only a few more stages left, actually. I think a good place to test this out is 420. Because this is the one with the 2 big robots at the end, right? Okay, that is obviously not correct. So the team I went with... We'll want him first. Is a lot of stuff that's very strong. As you can see... Oh, there's actually not a lot of pride in here. That's fine. I only really need it for... Ebony Stem anyways. Okay, fair. We get to use, her Sun Shower with this team pretty efficiently, I believe. This is hard gluttony support. Like, it's not even funny. This is not a great team for this fight, I realize. That's okay, though. God, she's thick. What the heck? I don't know how I feel about that appearance. But okay. Yi-Sang has to get Tremor Count as fast as possible. If I'm correct. Why do they feel like they have less HP than normal? Okay, that animation is amazing. I love that. Also, this guy might just be dead? Yeah. Okay. I mean, I get that that was a blunt attack, but jeez. That was strong. I still can't AoE turn 2. That was unfortunate. But bound to happen. Yeah, I can't AoE turn 2. He got 25 sanity. Okay. I need to get Gloom. I need to get 1 Gloom, I should say. There, I've achieved my goal. Perfect. Why do these robots feel like they have less... This isn't the fight I thought it was, by the way. I wanted to do the fight with the 3 big robots, and I did not. So I might do another after this one. He's taking some damage because Sprouting Bud doesn't actually clash good. God, the animations in this are so cool. Oh no, this is the one with the big robots. Never mind. What am I missing? What have I not gotten? How am I short 1 slot? Okay. I'm not going to use my Tremor Count this turn. It feels like a waste. I don't have a choice but to use the skill. Hold on. There we go. That works. Because they're all dead this turn. I don't want to waste my Tremor Count. God, it feels really weird saying that. I'm just gonna call it charge, because that's what it is. Let's be honest with ourselves. It's just charge in this case. Nothing's gonna burst my tremor in this fight. That's not even true. There's plenty of things that burst tremor in this fight. Like those guys. Alright. How much Tremor Count do I have? 9? I can AoE once. I can also use this once. So that's fun. Yeah, I keep getting Gloom, actually, because I need Gloom for my ego. So
갑니다.
I might as well keep using it. All right, this is the first time I've used this sun shower.
쓸데없는 관심
Yeet.
필요 없는
It's not gonna hit too hard because these guys aren't weak to pierce, but that's pretty good. That's poise is the cool thing. Oh, it did work. I was like, okay, the AoE did not work, but then I remembered that these were bugged for a bit. So it is working, it just didn't look like it did. Yeah, I may have accidentally made a really strong team. With LCCB Ishmael instead of Lobotomy Ego Ishmael, this team would be so much stronger. LCCB Ishmael just inflicts so much tremor, and it's just good. You know? I could use this again. Is there a purpose to that? Not really. I would gain poise, I guess. I could leisure domain. That's fine. Ooh, the order that I'm doing this, I can do this and then the AoE. Because that's cool. Yeah, I really don't need Wrath for anything in this team. I'll still get some. It does more damage. Why not, you know?
예측대로 빈틈 투성이로 쓰러졌고
Yeah, I think it might help that
꽤 먹혀든 것
the
같아요.
IDs in this team... Okay. I think it might help that the IDs in this team are just very good to begin with.
다시 못 살게 구는 일은 없을 것이오.
I feel like I've just made a team with 4 of the game's strongest IDs. Is what I've done. And this obviously kills, because it's Ledger Domain. 49 damage. Great.
내 피가 배고파했어.
I really feel like what I did was I made one of the strongest teams you can make right now. I can... Freaking what? I can generate Ebony Stem? Good God. How many AoEs is this? Oh, I can't Ledger Domain if I do that. Do I want to? I don't really feel like I need to use Ledger Domain. Yeah, we'll go with it. Why not? And I get the AoE with Yisang as well. Good lord. Okay. Oh, crits with Ebony Stem? I didn't even think about that.
승리를 위해서라면
This is only hitting 2 of them because the robots have 4 target spots. I did get crits too. That didn't do very much, but Ebony Stem never does. Wow, Ishmael. Alright. Cool.
걸려라.
That guy's just dead.
자, 한 건에
This is hilariously good.
계속 집중하지.
Okay. Yeet. Bonk. Okay. Oh, and I got the boost from Sinclair's passive because they're at 0. I didn't even think of that.
다시 못 살게 구는 일은 없을
완벽한
저들이
한방.
이상한 기운을 두르고
시원한
있어요.
걸.
Wow. Okay. What I want to know now at this point, have we out-Sinclaired Sinclair with this identity? Because he did take some damage at the start of the fight. But I want to remind everybody that the first time I did this fight, it took me 10 turns on the dot. Or, no, it took me 11 turns to beat it. And then when I did the EX clear, it took me exactly 10. I've just beaten it in 7. This feels illegal. I didn't have any good skills this turn, but that's fine.
피워보지.
I have a feeling that...
이봐, 버틸 자신 있어?
I don't know how to feel about this, to be honest. This feels like maybe a bit too strong. Imagine once we have... Oh god, you know what? The thing I said about LCCB Ishmael, that sucks, but these robots have a tendency to do that. The thing I said about LCCB Ishmael
한방 먹혔지?
is when we actually add her to the party, this party generates new sun shower perfectly as well. That's unfortunate. You always get the one tail split. Oh, I really didn't. Okay, we'll finish this off the fun way then. I have no reason to want to do this, but I'm going to. 12? Perfect.
기실 뚫린 골목이여.
Awesome. Good God. Okay. Ooh.
교화였구려.
He did 35% of the damage.
어딘가에 담고 싶고.
This is on par with Sinclair. Okay. It's not even, my team wasn't necessarily built to fight robots, but that damage percentage is kind of what, especially since Rodeo was right on his tail too. That's crazy. Of course, Ishmael was at the bottom. Yeah, okay. This is a little, I would call the ID pretty good. I'll have to see how it ends up working with the new sun shower, because that is wild. Like, this is crazy. And I would love to use it. But I also would love to not have to grind aimlessly for like 4 hours to get it, so I'll just get it as we go. Alright, well, I think it's safe to say that this new Yi Sang is incredibly powerful. I would recommend pulling for this one. The Ishmael is whatever. Like, Ishmael is fine. It's not great. Like, it just feels like the new Tremor IDs. Okay. Disclaimer. Obviously, Rodeo's really good. But it feels like the new Tremor IDs aren't Tremor IDs. They're Charge IDs. And Ishmael has no charge, so what does that leave her with? Nothing? It's Rupture, I guess? But yeah, that's just it. This is a very powerful ID. I'm not surprised. Like, giving you access to an AoE. Also an AoE that inflicts sinking, by the way, which is nuts. Giving you access to an AoE, even if you can only use it every couple turns. That's like using Leisure Domain every couple turns. Except it's more damage, because it has multiple dice. I don't know how to feel about this. It's obviously an S tier identity. I put this, just from that one display, I put this in S tier next to Sinclair and Faust. Which I guess was due because Yi Sang didn't have a good identity. That's not even true. 7 Yi Sang is good. He's just not great. This is above great. And I don't know how to feel about it. They literally gave us one of the most powerful identities in the game, and then had it almost perfectly fuel one of the most powerful ego in the game, along with another ego that is, while not the most powerful ego in the game, pretty decent. Do not underestimate Wishing Cairn, or I will find you. Especially since it's fast too. Yeah, okay. No, that's it. Yeah, this is crazy good. I don't really have anything else to say about it, to be honest. So what I'll do is I'll just go right ahead and add him to my company so y'all can check him out. I didn't know where Yi Sang was. I'm gonna equip him with the ego that he fuels, not fourth match flame. And obviously I'll have Dimension Shredder on him until I unlock the new Sun Shower. But yeah, that's it. Feel free to add me if you want to check out the new identity. Thank you all for watching. This one's been a bit longer than the other two because I don't remember why. Also, let me just change this right away.
비밀을 하나 말해주자면 난 눈 가끔
Oh, that's so many words. Please shut up. But yeah, thank you for watching. We'll start the new content, story content tomorrow.
처음 그것을 보았던 순간에
Should be Saturday.
누가 되었던
It didn't look like there were that many more combat stages left, which is fine, but obviously there's a dungeon at the end of it, probably. So that's cool. If you like the video, consider liking, consider subscribing. It helps me out a lot. If you dislike the video, why are you here? Why are you watching 40 minutes into a review when you do not like the content? But in any case, I hope you have a good rest of your day. And I hope to see you back with more of this soon. Bye-bye!